Chapter 34 Connor. Like Risa, Connor finds his niche by accident. Connor never considered himself mechanically capable, but there are a few things he can stand less than a bunch of morons standing around looking at something that doesn't work and wondering who's gonna fix it. During that first week, while Risa's off learning how to be an exceptionally good fake doctor, Connor decides to figure out the workings of a fried air conditioning unit, then find replacement parts from one of the junk piles and get it working again. He soon comes to realize it's the same way with every other broken thing he comes across. Sure, it began with trial and error, but the errors become fewer and fewer as the days go by. There are plenty of other kids who claim to be mechanics and are really good at explaining why things won't work. Connor, on the other hand, actually fixes them. He quickly gets him reassigned from trash duty to the repair crew, and since there are endless things to repair, he keeps his mind off of other things, such as how little he gets to see Risa and the Emerald's tightly structured world, and how quickly Roland is advancing through the social ranks of the place. Roland has managed to get himself one of the best assignments in the graveyard. By working the angles and applying plenty of flattery, he's been taken on as the pilot's assistant. Mostly he just keeps the helicopter clean and fueled, but the assignment reeks of an apprenticeship. "He's teaching me how to fly it," he overhears Roland tell a bunch of other kids one day. Connor shudders to think of Roland behind the controls of a helicopter, but many kids are impressed by Roland. His age gives him seniority, and his manipulations gain him either fear or respect from a surprising number of others. Roland draws his negative energy from the kids around him, and there are lots of kids here for him to draw from. Social manipulation is not one of Connor's strengths. Even among his own team, he's a bit of a mystery. Kids know not to tread on him because he has a low tolerance for irritation and idiocy. But there's no one they'd rather have on their side than Connor. "People like you because you've got integrity," Hayden tells him, "even when you're being an ass." Connor has to laugh at that. Him? Integrity? There have been plenty of people in Connor's life who would think differently. But on the other hand, he's changing. He's been getting into fewer fights. Maybe it's because there's more room to breathe than in the warehouse. Or maybe he's been working out his brain enough for it to successfully muscle his impulses into line. A lot of that has to do with Risa, because every time he forces himself to think before acting, it's her voice in his head telling him to slow down, papi. He wants to tell her, but she's always so busy in the medical jet, and you don't just go to somebody and say, "I'm a better person because you're in my head." She's also still in Roland's head, and that worries Connor. At first, Risa had been a tool to provoke Connor into a fight, but now Roland sees her as a prize. Now, instead of using brute strength against her, he tries to charm her at every turn. "You're not actually falling for him, are you?" he asks her one day, on one of the rare occasions he can get her alone. "I'll pretend you didn't just ask that," she tells him in disgust, but Connor has reasons to wonder. "On that first night here, he offered you his blanket, and you accepted it," he points out. "Only because I knew it would make him cold. And when he offers you his food, you take it, because it means he goes hungry." It's coolly logical. Connor finds it amazing that she can put her emotions aside and be as calculating as Roland, beating him at his own game. Another reason for Connor to admire her.